house, but you're already home. Lie awake 'cause you can't dream without it. It's gonna be alright. I'm never gonna leave your side. It's gonna be alright. Everybody falls down, all the way down. You just gotta hold on tight. You gotta get up, gotta get up. We're gonna make it through this time. Everybody falls down, all the way down. You just gotta hold on tight. You gotta get up, gotta get up. We're gonna make it through this time. Ever feel like it's too much? Do you feel like you're not enough? When you feel like it's gonna take forever. Yeah, I swear I know what it's like to feel alone at the end of the night. Maybe you don't know it, but it gets better. It's gonna be alright. I'm never gonna leave your side. It's gonna be alright. Everybody falls down, all the way down. You just gotta hold on tight. You gotta get up, gotta get up. Gonna make it through this time. Everybody falls down, all the way down. You just gotta hold on tight. You gotta get up, gotta get up. Gonna make it through this time. Everybody fall, you gotta go. Everybody falls down, all the way down. You just gotta hold on tight. You gotta get up, gotta get up. Gonna make it through this time. Everybody falls down, all the way down. You just gotta hold on tight. You gotta get up, gotta get up. Gonna make it through this time. Gonna make it through this time. Gonna make it through this time.
Alright guys, so it's Chase with Ethical Trading. Let's take a look at some of these charts for crypto and some stocks as well. Let me pull up the list real quick for everybody. Make sure I don't miss any. Of course, we know Tony's going to drop a screenshot of everything he's possibly trading at the moment and ask us to look at, so we will, because Tony's awesome. So, first thing I want to look at real quick is Bitcoin, because people are freaking out. And it's the same thing that I've been trying to explain for weeks and weeks now, that it's the end of the year. You have tax loss harvesting coming into play. There's no wash sale rule with crypto. Large wallets will sell off, and then they will immediately rebuy. Thus, very rapid bounces. So, still not freaking out. We still have a big, huge, massive breakout above 100K. From here, you're also seeing some of the larger movement where we're grabbing liquidity from both sides here. So, still not stressing, still riding my crypto, not selling crap. As of right now, you can see we're maintaining the setup here, getting a nice little bounce. So, you'll see a little bit of consolidation here now that we know that we've eaten away at a lot of the supply up in this zone. And what you can expect is bullish continuation once we kind of push through that. So, this is good. This is solid movement, healthy movement. Also, why I went ahead and added to my Riot. Was it Riot or Mara that I added to today? I think it was Riot that I added to today for some June calls for next year, and I'll be adding tomorrow. Also eyeing a few coin and micro strategy calls as well, but the premiums are a little wacky, so try to be patient with that. But let's see, Apple is one I got asked to take a look at. Let me see what the others are that people are looking at. Definitely want to take a look at Sound real quick, because that's one that we have been trading swing calls on, and shares as well, and I've been trying to tell people keep an eye on it. I think I actually mentioned it again yesterday on the live stream. Look at this massive freaking candle on Sound today on the daily. So that was over a 30% move in a single day on Sound. Massive breakout after that retest of the consolidation and that exact bull flag breakout that I was saying to watch out for. You can see that we tagged this resistance level perfectly, so technicals work. I haven't even looked to see what those Sound calls that we've been in actually ended up hitting, but now I gotta look because I'm curious. I did trim some of them. Sound. Really? They hit 1,000% gain today? No way. I've got to go recheck that. Yeah, one hit 400% and the other's 1,000. Is that right? Somebody confirm for me if y'all actually locked gains today on Sound. I know Matt was kicking himself because he had like 70 of those calls and he's trimmed them or sold them off already, which he had nice gains, but he was kind of kicking himself because they ended up going so big that it would have been like a $50,000 gain off a smaller trade. So that would have been nuts to see. Still solid gains nonetheless. So Sound ripped out greatly. Crypto stocks, a lot of the swing calls we were on did awesome this morning on the big pop. And that's the thing with crypto stocks. You got to be prepared to lock the gains on the volatility. Unless you're kind of looking at it as longer term swing trades like I'm doing with a lot of these 2025 calls. Because like I said, Bitcoin's not done. You're going to have a little bit of rapid movement into your volatility, and then you'll see a big, large push as we head into next year where that selling subsides, especially once alt season kicks into gear, because it hasn't yet. And look, real quick, since we're actually on this topic, I want to show you something, because this is a good topic to understand, because everyone's screaming alt season has begun, Bitcoin dominance is gone, so you've got this little rapid move that just happened as a result of that quick little sell that I mentioned. But if you zoom out here on the weekly for Bitcoin dominance, because this is what people use as indication, and some people want to try to apply technicals directly to it, which I'm down for if you really want to, because it still tells the same story, is Bitcoin dominance as of right now. If you're applying a technical setup to it, it's still bullish as hell. So Bitcoin's not done running. I would find it very unlikely for Bitcoin dominance to fail and subside in the 60% range based off what I showed you on the psychological movement kind of overall chart for markets. So Bitcoin dominance, in my opinion, is not done. It won't be done until Q1, Q2. And then from there, we may see a shift over to true alt season. But right now, a lot of the movement you see with altcoins is more of sympathy movement. We haven't actually shifted to where a lot of the funds are rolling out of Bitcoin and into the alt projects, which is what you would expect is once the money starts flowing out of Bitcoin and flowing into alts, that's when alt season is actually kicking in, and we haven't seen that yet. So definitely still watching this, expecting Bitcoin to keep pushing higher, just like it did this week. Netflix, I can look at for you real quick, Joe, because I haven't actually been actively monitoring it, but it looks like it's in another bullish breakout. I know some of y'all keep asking for kind of technical reviews and chart analysis of some of these stocks like this that are in full breakouts. I mean, you can chase them, but in my opinion, y'all are trying to chase stocks that really are already moving, and really the options premiums are so high that the risk is high for the same reasons as NVDA and Tesla. And again, not saying you can't make gains on it, because I think people made awesome gains on Tesla calls today. For me though, 30-40% gains on something that is like an expensive contract where it's risky as hell to be in it right here in this area, for me, it's just too much risk to reward. I'll stick with selling covered calls on my Tesla shares in this zone and trading a lot of these other tickers that we shifted over and started trading for the near term, at least until things subside a little bit with the premium pricing, because right now it's really favorable as an option seller, thus why I sell covered calls. Not so favorable as a buyer. While you might see some of the trades work out okay, people aren't talking about the other 4 out of 5 that didn't work out okay. So that's why I'm being careful here. those of you that know me know this, but those of you that don't, I'm more cautious about my trading overall, which leads to more consistent results. So that's why I don't trade actively calls or puts on this type of setup. Just the setup's not there yet. Like, we're trying to get this bullish breakout here, but we're right here with this immediate overhead. So we can hold and build that range as a support zone and push higher. That's great. That's a good technical move. Again, calls are going to be really expensive, and it's hard to really get out far enough ahead without going way out of the money. And I typically don't like to trade strikes that aren't within trading range by expiration date. And I'm not going to try to chase some Tesla calls that are like a $500+ strike here just for the hopes of gains. Because if it does trade flat, they burn bad. And I don't want to get trapped in that situation up in there. So that's what's going on with like Tesla, as well as kind of what's going on with NVDA, Joe. That's why I mentioned it, because when you look at NVIDIA, we're in a big, huge breakout on the weekly. I'm sorry, not NVIDIA. Netflix is what we're looking at for you. Same thing's going on with NVIDIA, though. We're consolidating in this zone. We got the push up, but again, we're still in this zone, and we still are now at risk. I'm going to be watching this really close tomorrow because I'm curious. While this is trying to build a bull flag on the right hand side here, you also now have developed a potential head and shoulder setup there. And I don't know if like this little AI pattern thingy will tag that or not. I am curious if it will, because I see it. Let's see. No, it's tagging the rising wedge, and it's got that previous rectangle setup still though, which that's the bullish setup that I've been talking about, guys. Like where we have a 175 price target. You can see that my conservative estimate there is just a little bit shorter than that. And like I've told you before, I like to stay conservative with my measured moves for those types of breakouts. So definitely watching NVIDIA here. In shares, I might trade calls on it for a scalp, but I don't want to take the risk of swing calls right now on NVIDIA just because risk to reward doesn't make sense for me. DocuSign, let me look for you real quick. So here's the thing. With trying to trade, Vanya asked in one of the chats about DocuSign puts. Here's my take on that. I know it feels like a lot of people want to trade. Which one is that? What's going on here? Is this pop in after hours? Is that what this is? Or was this intraday and my chart's just out of whack? That's an after hours off earnings, duh. So here's the thing. With trading on a big breakout like that, and if any of y'all stayed in your longer dated calls, you might be okay as long as you are well within the money at this point. But be careful about trying to immediately buy puts here. Yeah, they'll get IV crushed tomorrow, but you also don't want to get trapped in anything short dated if it trades flat tomorrow, because it will burn the premium on the put as well. But I'm also not going to buy puts on something just because it had a big pop in hopes of reversal, because DocuSign could build a support up in these higher ranges as well and keep moving higher. So that's something you want to watch out for. What other ones we got here? SoFi. I'll look at SoFi, then I gotta look at GameStop, because GameStop today was awesome and fun, and I told y'all the GME Spidey sense was totally setting off. So SoFi, same thing we've been looking at. Look, this thing is got a red candle here, but look out, tap that support range, and here it is trying to again build out. It isn't a bearish or a bullish pennant anymore. It's a bull flag still though. So still trying to develop a new bull flag. It's still, my bad, it is a bullish pennant still technically here, but I would be looking more to see if it can sustain that bull flag in that range. So that's still actually bullish overall, just like what we saw on Palantir, which on that note, the gift that keeps on giving, Palantir, like I said yesterday, and I know that like the little quick moves up and down freak people out, but this sucker is just ripping. We even saw some bullish call flows for 105 strikes earlier today, so people are really expecting this thing to keep on pushing, it seems like. It's still the biggest banger of a trade I've had for the year, because those calls from last December on this thing went over 3,900% today. Like literally went from an entry of $83 to over $3,300. That's insane. It'd be sweet if we could catch a couple more trades like that for 2025. But yeah, Palantir is still bullish as ever, pushing strong. We want to see increasing volume, so I don't like how the volume's tapering down here. I'd like to see it pick back up, so we'll see if buying steps up again. Let's see, we got SoFi, we just covered, right? Yep, covered SoFi. So still bullish is maintained. We'd like to see increase in buying volume step in after that bounce to support, but GameStop. So those of you that have been kind of following some of the trades and live streams, I've been talking about GameStop the last few days because I could see some movement going on over on the flows on my screeners for GameStop options. Plus they have earnings next week. Plus my GME Spidey sense that has developed since 2021 was tingling. So we got into GME calls on Monday in addition to some existing ones we were in. And those ones from Monday went like 110% gains today on that pop. For those that aren't aware, Roaring Kitty tweeted, and I'd have to go look at specifically what the tweet was again. But when the dude tweets, GameStop rips. So it was like Time Magazine or something was on it as the cover. And yeah, it ripped as a result. But it'll be interesting to see how this plays out because they do have earnings next week. I still might, even with that pop, I may pick up 100 or 200 shares and consider selling covered calls, or I might just ride them out and see what happens. But AMC probably got some sympathy movement off GME, but I know we don't have a whole lot of time today, so I'm not going to shift over and look at AMC at the moment. But good opportunities, I'd say, in the coming day, especially with the pullbacks. Any crypto stocks, crypto tickers, as well as a lot of crypto directly. If you get retracements and pullback and it bounces as support, that's good entry. Because crypto's going to keep on ripping into next year, so definitely want to keep an eye on that. Uber, didn't see what's going on with that analyzer. You said it got destroyed today? Oh yeah, Uber got clapped. What's up with that? So, I'm assuming some kind of news came out that hit Uber pretty hard. So, yeah, we'll see what happens with that in the coming days. I don't think I'm still in any active trades on Uber, am I? Y'all have got me questioning it now. I need to stop leaving so many runners because it's hard to keep up. Nope. I'm not. Okay, cool. I took gains on the Uber calls whenever we had the previous big pumps. So I'm okay on that. Unity's another one that went nuts today. So this one is one that we traded calls on based off of the setup down here when it back tested. And that's an awesome cup and handle breakout there. What those calls do? I didn't even get to check those. Those went over, they're currently over 600%. Okay. All these banger trades. See, swing trades can make big gains too. And it's on all these tickers that aren't known to be like, you don't have to trade Apple, Microsoft, NVDA, Tesla to make huge gains. And honestly, you'll probably make more consistent, bigger gains by not trading those tickers. So, Analyzer said he followed a well call at the end of the day. We'll see. It's a March call. Analyzer, is that for the, is that for Unity or is that for, crap, what did we look at a second ago? Uber? If it was Uber, I'll have to go look and see what the calls were and see what the flow is to see if it was part of a multi-leg strategy or something, just out of curiosity. Let's see. We did Netflix. We did DocuSign. We did Uber. Let me make sure what's up here at the top of the list as well. MicroStrategy, yeah. I was looking hard at some call options on MicroStrategy today, but they're just so expensive because I really want to get MicroStrategy calls for next year, but I really don't want to put like $5,000 on a single contract, and that's what it would probably take to get the right contract for a strike and expiration I want. But I mean, there is a potential head and shoulders here, but I also know Michael Saylor basically sells off MicroStrategy shares and then buys Bitcoin, and in turn that drives up MicroStrategy. So it's kind of like a vicious cycle. I'm definitely going to keep an eye on this. I might trade an intraday scalp on MicroStrategy tomorrow with some 0 day to expiration lottos, just because the price overall on that would be risk to reward might be worthwhile as compared to trying to risk it getting into something that's going to cost a ton of money and could go either way in the coming weeks. I might do the same thing on either Tesla or on NVDA. We'll see what plays out and shakes out with that. But yeah, Tony brought up another good one that I want to make a point to look at. So it's IWM. Because we entered some calls yesterday that did offer up gains yesterday on the quick little pop. Right there. But then also it pulled back a bit today, which is not the end of the world, and why I also make it a point to lightly phase into longer term swing trades. So right here you can see what we have intact is this bullish pennant still. If we go much lower, especially if we tag this, this thing's gonna lose its appeal to me, because if you retrace more than like 40 to 50% of the flagpole, it invalidates. So really, I'll be watching this support in this zone right here to see if we bounce. It could also come back and test this actual trend here as well, so that's something to keep an eye on. I'm going to move, I think, that trend line based off of this little quiver here as well, because it looks like it's more aligned with that at this point. But yeah, I'll be keeping an eye on IWM. It's one of those that I think it's taking a bit of a hit right now because the uncertainty related to Fed interest rate cuts and how that helps or hurts small cap stocks. So definitely worthwhile keeping an eye on. One strategy you can use as well is kind of hedge with a percentage of puts compared to your call position if you're long on either long calls or long shares on IWM or something like that. Just something else to keep in mind. Let's see, theta, Uber. Yeah, so the theta is being really, what's the theta on the $70 calls? Tell me so I don't have to actually, or are you talking about MicroStrategy, the theta being really high? Because it is, that's due to the IV with the volatility. So I'd rather not sit in something that's going to get hammered like that. But for those of you that do want exposure to MicroStrategy and crypto through ETF or stock, so MSTY is the MicroStrategy Yield Max ETF, and this thing actually pays a sick dividend. It's a monthly dividend, and it's like almost 10% of whatever the stock price is. So I might actually buy more shares of this in the coming days. We'll see. I probably won't look at options directly for this because I typically don't mess with options on something like this. But if you wanted exposure through shares and you don't want to buy MicroStrategy shares, they're expensive like they are. Sorry, yawning. Need more coffee. MicroStrategy ETF like this would be good exposure. Also, you get the dividend kicker for it. So, so keep an eye on that. APLD, yeah. So that one's looking good too. It's same thing we've been looking at, Tony. Like the same bullish continuation, same setup we've been watching. It's still playing out here. So that's kind of the kicker with a lot of these patterns. Is the patterns are there as long as they remain intact. It takes patience to watch them play out. I know you're working on that right now. So for me, I'm still in some of the runner calls on Applied Digital. I might actually enter a fresh position if I go look at some of the swing calls for next year, because this one's got good potential. Another good one. Oh wait, we forgot to look at Plug. Plug's another one that just ripped today that we're in calls on. So our 250 calls went in the money briefly, but look at that massive move. That's sweet. So what I want to see on Plug is a push above this level that it keeps fighting, but trim, not lock some nice gains. That's a massive volume candle, so if it gets bullish continuation tomorrow, Plug's probably going to break out and move higher. There's an inverse head and shoulders there as well, so yeah, this thing's going to get some movement if it can sustain. So probably going to sit in my March calls for a little bit longer. They closed 33% up, so got plenty of room on that. Applied Digital, like I was saying a second ago before I jump back over, this setup is still intact. Like that's the inverse head and shoulders. The measured move's like $20, so this is just one of those that you gotta be patient, let it play out. Let me look at AI for you, Tony. So AI is getting a lot of the sympathy movement with NVDA and others as well. Also building a fresh bull flag. It looks like here you can see it completed the previous measured moves from the breakout. So this is right there in that realm with SoundHound and AI. You're going to see a lot of bullish movement with AI stocks in the coming months, as well as with AI related crypto tokens on the Sol network. Thus why there's some AI component to ethical trading artificial intelligence token, which is our token, right? So let's see. Intel, Matt, you know what the deal is on Intel. We've looked at that chart so many times the last day. So keeps diving based off the news and the CEO and everything, right? So we broke down, we lost that support. It looks like we might consolidate in this range. And this is, again, why I take very small positions initially and lock gains when they're presented on a setup like those calls that we traded, because the gains presented, and then if you sit in them, and we don't get the immediate bounce, now you're kind of in a decision where you either have to take a loss or you have to... This dude hitting me with these meme laughing faces making me giggle. either stuck in a position where you have to take a loss, or you have to decide, do I want to average down? And I will tell y'all, because y'all keep on kind of mentioning it in some of the chats, don't average down on a trade to try to rescue or save a trade that's gone against you. And I just want to say that because it's very different where you're trying to average down to save a trade like that for something that just has basically invalidated a pattern, as compared to phasing in and intentionally averaging into a position that the setup and everything is intact still, and maybe you get a retracement and you're adding to the position to ride it out. Just a minor retracement. So be careful with Intel. Honestly, like, this thing could go either way because it could catch a bounce here. You got a lot of selling pressure. We called it brief. I think it was a bounce this morning, right? Or was it yesterday? With the news of the new board members. But I don't know. I might actually have to sell cash secured puts on Intel at some point if I do some digging and see some validity to the people that are going to be coming into the board and potential CEO. I might go for some cash secured puts just because this company actually does have a little bit of promise, but we'll see where that goes. Maybe one or two more I can do. So Inf I called out and talked about earlier today, though, Tony. So like Inf has got the same thing going on, and this is maybe going to back test and bounce at that support range. We'll see. I mean, I'm watching it, but I'm not actively trading it at the moment. So we'll see what happens there. If it can bounce and move higher, definitely one I've been keeping an eye on. Hood rocking again. Hood was another one that'll be maybe the last one, unless somebody wants me to look at something else for them. But Hood, notice how it's moving almost exactly like Bitcoin is at the moment. So that's the thing with Hood, is that it's getting a lot of its motions and movements at the moment off of crypto. I honestly, if I see a bounce on Bitcoin and on Hood at the support range again, I might add some calls. Because I know our previous Hood calls have been great. They've worked out awesome. So I might actually do that. That would probably be a good retest to get in on that. So back testing of this bull flag breakout here. So yeah, Hood's looking nice. What's Bitcoin doing at the moment, since people are freaking out a little bit? Curious if it pulled back or if it's just bouncing. Nope, still gonna bounce. So y'all don't even want to see. Yeah, I covered Apple earlier. Or wait, did I? Did I not? Can't remember shit. Let me look. I didn't cover Apple, Deesh. Good looking out, dude. So like I was saying earlier in the chat this morning, so yeah, it's trying to hold a potential bull flag here, but if you look at this daily candle as of right now, which it did push a little bit higher than what I was saying to watch out for this morning. Yeah, I'm about to go get more coffee. You know how I roll. So coffee till 8 p.m. will be good. So it is good that the daily candle did end up closing right at or above that previous candle high. So that's a good sign if it can sustain that. Earlier today, it was kind of scaring me a little bit because it was doing a bearish engulfing candle there, and that combined with that was looking like we were hitting a reversal pattern. So we'll see if this is consolidation and builds out for a fresh bull flag breakout. What you don't want to see, and what I hate seeing on Apple, because people always get stuck when this happens because they get greedy and they stay in a call option too long, is basically running into a Friday and some random news drops on Apple on a Friday from like China or some other country, and it just bombs like 3 or 4%, and then those calls are just wrecked and have to sit over the weekend, then it trades flat and the calls never recover. So definitely want to be careful on Apple here. I love the bullish movement it's got going on right now, so that's looking hot. I mean, it would be a great area for somebody that's long calls to sell covered calls when you start to see a reversal, to hedge your downside position. So we'll see what happens there in the next day or two. Riot, Mara, all that stuff's going to look, Matt, very similar to what I talked about for Bitcoin. So here's what I do want to call out for Riot, Mara, Coin, all that crap. Y'all scroll back to your personal messages that you put in the chat yesterday afternoon and evening whenever Bitcoin ripped, and you were like, damn, I wish I would have went ahead and bought more calls. Man, I'm mad I sold my calls. Keep all that in mind as we're back here consolidating in this zone yet again on all these crypto tickers, because this is your shot and opportunity. Is when you see the bounce and the hold at these support ranges on all these crypto stocks. That's where you load the boat and you prepare for the run into 2025. So, eased into some of those Riot calls earlier today. We'll still be looking to add to Riot, Mara, several others. Let me see. There was one. So SOS was getting smacked earlier today, early on, though. I noticed that. Coin, I went and looked, and I just am not digging how far out of the money I would have to go on Coin, because it's into all-time high range. And like I said earlier, I'm not a big fan of buying call options for a strike that's way out of the money if it's not within the movement range by expiration. So definitely going to keep an eye on that and see if there's any good opportunities to percent. You went in deep today. Would you go in deep today on, Matt? On Riot or Mara? I'm waiting. Like, I got to hear this. I want to know what Matt bought deep, because when Matt says he went deep, he goes deeper than most of y'all feel like comfortable with. This dude bought like 100 Riot calls 2 days ago for like 25 grand or something, and he did take 4 grand gains. So you went deep on Riot. Did you go as deep as you were before? Is the question. Sorry, I'm not sharing the chat on the stream directly, because I want to make sure that the audience overall, that this is useful for everyone, and it's not just specific to ethical trading, because I'm in several other discords like Bullish Raid, and love everybody in the Bullish Raid fam. So definitely looking out here. But yeah, oh, he just hit us with some dots. So like, yeah, Matt, dude. Don't give back all those huge gains you shared earlier today over the last 3 months, man, by being crazy. I mean, if it's some far out calls, I bet, yeah, March calls, you'll probably be okay. I might follow you and be a little degen tomorrow. We'll see. But, yeah, like, it looks like a lot of our swings are doing good, so I'll keep watching that. If there's, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up here in a second, because kids are out there, I think, being crazy probably. But if there's any other tickers y'all want me to take a look at, let me know. I'll probably alert and get in a couple of lotto, like, quick scalp trades tomorrow, or just pure lottos, just because it's Friday and we can get in some cheap options on some crazy stuff. Keep in mind, if y'all do trade, like, you don't have to trade lotto trades, especially if you're on any of the Discords or Facebooks or Twitters where I do alert that stuff too. Like, be careful. Don't do something stupid if you're not used to trading lotto trades like that, and they're not for everyone. So keep in mind that whenever me and others do trade lotto trades like that, it's typically a very, very, very small portion of the overall portfolio that we're doing it with. I'm talking like less than 0.5% or 1% of that given account value. So definitely not one of those things that you want to pull a mat and buy, 100 call options for something on a 0 day to expiration and then spend your whole account on it. So, and Matt's not doing that. I mean, he's throwing heavy, but he's also still not wrecking his entire account with it if he does. So he's kind of playing with house money. So, Analyzer wants me to look at Clean Spark real quick, and then I'll wrap it up, because that's yet another one of those crypto stocks that, here's your chance. Like, it's all I'm going to say. Like, I've been kind of alerting and repeating on several of these stocks, and keep in mind that same thing applies to what we talked about with Riot, Mora, and all those. And let's look at the weekly real quick, just like we'll see on Riot and Mora. That you're chill in the zone, and then all of a sudden we get some kind of bullish momentum and news, and then there's like no looking back, and you see these massive, like 100% plus moves on some of these crypto stocks within a day or two. You entered all three today. Okay, Analyzer. So here, I need to like get something for my live stream to where I can do like a degen pop up on the screen flashing and give you like the degen stamp of approval or something. Which, on that note, some of y'all saw it earlier today. I started making some ethical trading apparel and shirts and hats and coffee cups and stuff that has all of the fun comments and quotes and photos and stuff that a lot of y'all throw in the chat. So be on the lookout for that. I'll make maybe like a little link or something where y'all can order that if y'all want. But I'm definitely going to rep all the degen and stock and crypto apparel and shirts. That way when people are like, hey, what's that crypto stuff you got on your shirt? I could be like, dude, I'm a crypto degen. I can't help it. Buy my meme coin. Not really. go buy a random Hawk Tuah coin or something. They got rug pulled. But let's see, he didn't buy Hut because bid ask was too far. Yeah, that's one thing to be careful of on a lot of these is the bid ask spread being really wide because of volatility, and yeah, just something to keep an eye on. So Matt said, yeah, when you can't decide, you get all of them. So yeah, that's basically where you can do like me, make you a crypto stock watch list over here, and then just, I'm going to drop this in the chat so y'all got it, but just buy the whole damn watch list. Why not? Don't really do that. If anybody's listening in here to learn, do not do that, please. I don't want to watch y'all get your accounts blown up over something silly like that. So definitely keep in mind, but all those different crypto stocks that are on that list, I just threw into one of the chats, and somebody throw it in the YouTube chat for me. It's on my other screen. I can't see it right now. My dog's in the way. But take that screenshot for the crypto stocks, and if it'll let you paste the image into, which I don't think it will, into YouTube, go for it. But keep in mind that each of those crypto stocks really gets their revenue and movement from different places. So you've got mining stocks in there. You've got some brokerage stocks for crypto in there, as well as you have US-based and non-US based, like SOS, for instance. So just keep that in mind. Be careful. Got TheraWolf that also is like a nuclear power-based crypto mining facility. So, yep, cool. All right, I'm gonna call it for the night. Y'all have fun. Don't freak out over crypto stuff. For all of those people that feel like crypto's just dying, keep in mind what I told y'all yesterday happened in 2022, and people panicked, and now everybody looks back and wish they would have bought the dip. So we'll see what happens with stocks and crypto and everything tomorrow. For now, everyone have a great night. Good luck tomorrow. Later.